It's been common knowledge for years that your emotional intelligence skills are way more important than your native smarts when it comes to making the world fit you, rather than having to just cop life the way that it is. As an ex-school teacher, I can tell you that the nerds didn't end up in mansions, the sports jocks failed to launch businesses, the most talented didn't win X Factor, the most popular ended up pregnant in their teens, and the most likely to succeed, well, they just didn't. Even the most cursory look at life would tell you that being beautiful or intelligent or gifted or hardworking or even wealthy is not a ticket to happiness. Unless you think the number of broke geniuses doesn't count, emotional intelligence is obviously the key to personal and professional success. The problem I see every day in my clinical work is that most people overestimate their emotional intelligence score by about 1,000%, and they describe all the other idiots in their life as the real problem. And let's face it, we're hopeless when it comes to self-assessment. Let me give you a couple of enlightening statistics. 100% of people sent to court-mandated driver retraining because of their atrocious safety record describe themselves as above average drivers. 4 out of 5 people who divorce because of irreconcilable differences say that they wish they'd tried harder to understand their partner better 5 years later. 3/4 of people who claim that they are commonly misunderstood say the problem is that other people don't listen. 90% of obese respondents in one survey said that they ate healthily and got some exercise. In fact, many people declare that emotional intelligence is something great for everybody else, and the sooner everybody else learns it, the better off we'd all be. Well, sadly, the more we blame others and decry the mess that the world is becoming, the more powerless and hopeless we make ourselves. Impacting on the circumstances around you and bending the world to suit you rather than having the circumstances dictate your life, that, my friend, is a master skill that turns your life from an endurance event into an adventure where you're the author, which means high levels of emotional intelligence are a necessity rather than a good idea for other people. So what are the keys? Interestingly, they're not new, difficult, or hard to implement in a day-to-day life, but they do require practice. If you're up for it, I'll explain it all in this and a couple more videos that are less than 5 minutes long each. I'll do it in terms of A, knowing what to understand, and B, some simple steps you can take to fit it into a regular day. Step 1 is understanding what you feel and being able to accurately describe that feeling so that another person who's not your mother gets what you're talking about. In my humble but most accurate opinion, 50% of the population use words to describe how they feel that actually say nothing. For example, I feel like crap doesn't indicate whether you're feeling sad or sick or serious. Or, that's bad, fails to inform us if something's gone off like a bag of prawns in the sun or is a disgusting act performed by one person on another. Alternatively, it's not okay, could be month-old milk with lumps in it, or a request to do something illegal or unfair at work. So what do you need to do every day? Well, apply the literal test to your words. All you have to do is ask yourself, what does a dictionary say this word means? You'll be surprised by how many words you use that are meaningless bits of filler for expressions you're struggling to describe. And by that I mean we use terms that have many interpretations and can therefore be employed in a multitude of situations. Not only is that lazy, it contributes to us not really knowing what we mean ourselves. Like I said, I reckon 50% of the population couldn't actually tell you what they were feeling because they know the feeling well enough, they don't have the words to describe it. That, my friends, is emotional illiteracy. And when that happens, everything eventually simply becomes either good or bad. And when we're faced with the choice of 2 words to describe every feeling, it's easier to leave the difficult ones alone and say less and less and less. That one concept might itself explain to you why women say their men don't know what they feel. And of course, she can't really say that without sounding critical, which is an invitation to him to say less and less, etc. But let's get back to what you need to do every day. I'm suggesting that every time you use a word that's meant to describe how you feel, you ask yourself what you're actually feeling deep down inside underneath the surface presenting emotion. That question will inevitably lead to one of what we call the 6 basics: joy, peace, love, anger, sadness, or fear. Sure, there are hundreds of other emotions, but they're variations on those 6, and they're used to describe the various degrees of the bottom line. For example, you could start with I feel like crap, which upon your own questioning could actually turn out to be, well, I'm actually a bit concerned about the presentation I've got to do at work. Asking yourself about this concern and which one of the 6 basics you're really feeling would reveal that it isn't joy, peace, or love, so it must be anger, sadness, or fear. Logic tells us it's unlikely to be anger unless we feel we've been asked to do something unfair, unjust, or beyond our capacity. It's also unlikely that you're sad because sadness is about loss or grief. A bit concerned? Yeah, that's a mild version of anxiety, which is a mild version of fear. That can manifest as sickness in the stomach, headaches, accelerated heart rate, foggy thinking, and 1,000 other symptoms that conspire to tell us that we're not scared, we're just feeling sick. Maybe it's the eggs I had for breakfast. Maybe they were a bit off. The coffee was overdone, or I just ate too much, etc. So searching within is not easy at first, but forcing yourself to choose one of the 6 basics is essential to emotional intelligence. It's skill number 1. You go and practice on that while I make the next video, which will be about skill number 2, which you absolutely cannot develop if you don't have skill number 1.